Good morning, aloha, and welcome to Kahu's Corner this Labor Day vacation Monday. Thank you for joining me this morning. As you can see, I'm not in my house on the ranch. I'm actually out here at the Volcanoes National Park this morning. Linda and myself got away for a 3-day staycation. So this morning we got out early. I wanted to just get you guys out and be out here and just enjoy the scenery. These past 2 days we did some trail walks along the crater rim, which was a good morning walk for 4.5 miles from the volcano house out to the old Jagger observation place and then back. And then we did some exploring, but it was just a good time for us to get away and just get out here and see stuff that we just take for advantage and not enjoy. So we was real happy with just getting away from Waimea, getting out to Volcano National Park and just being quiet and just looking at all of God's creation and just being quiet, being still, listening, enjoying the scenery. Right now we kind of at a lookout point, so I'm just gonna kind of turn you guys around and so you guys can see the crater and just kind of what kind of scenery you're looking at this morning. So let me just spin you guys around. The sunrise coming over Mauna Loa. You can see the smoke from the caldera. At night it was beautiful. You could see the lava lake actually from where we were, and then just sunrise, just the clouds and everything, and it's beautiful out here. And actually just one of the trails leading up to this lookout point. But anyway, I just wanted to just talk a little bit about being up here the past 2-3 days. You know, there was words that were used. We went to the visitor center and, you know, we heard words like extinction, management, conservation, different species, evasive, you know, a lot of things that we've got to manage as far as the trees, the wildlife up here, certain wildlife, birds especially, certain plants and stuff are, you know, on the brink of extinction. So we've got to preserve this place so that they can thrive again. And this just kind of the things I wanted to talk about this morning was, you know, in the creation story, God had created a place called the Garden of Eden, which was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. Everything had its proper order, its proper place. And then when God set man in it, he had two things for man to do, was to cultivate it and to tend it. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, it talks about that. That was the before the pre-fall of man. That's all Adam had to do, was to cultivate and tend what God had created. Everything was perfect. God gave him one commandment, was not to eat from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So when God had created a helper for him, that was up to Adam to make sure that he had everything in order, what God expected of him. And you guys know the story, the fall of man. You know, the Satan showed up as a serpent and started questioning what God had said to Adam and Eve. And again, Eve had took of the fruit, ate, and she gave to her husband, and death entered in, sin entered in. And then post fall of man, in chapter 3 verse 17, God told Adam that he was going to cultivate what God had created outside of the Garden of Eden, but the labor was going to be hard. And when I think back to that, the one thing that they didn't cultivate was their relationship with God. That was the one thing that they didn't cultivate and tend was that relationship, and they broke it. So in all of this madness, our relationship with God became extinct. When we talked about extinction, that everlasting life and our relationship with God was broken because we didn't cultivate our relationship with Him in the Garden of Eden. We didn't tend to it. We didn't keep in close communion with Him, and that's how fall of man became. And now we still suffer for that. And when I hear words like extinction and conservation and management, God had to do something to preserve life with human beings that He created. So He had to send His Son to conservation, to conserve this everlasting life that He had with the humans He created. And only through Him we can get back into that solid relationship with God. That if we come to God in humility and ask Him forgiveness for our sins, that we can come back into that communion with God through His Son Jesus, who died on the cross, was buried, and rose from the dead, so that in Him and through Him we may have everlasting life. But to see all of this things that God had created, the trees, the plants, we've seen few wildlife here and there. Everything was created for a reason. And still today we still gotta manage what God had created. We gotta prevent extinction from some of the beautiful creatures that He created. But that was all because of the fall of man. Things become extinct, and it's up to us to, again, we've got to tend it, we've got to conserve it, we've got to manage it. So it was good for Linda and myself to get out and to see all of this stuff and not take it for granted. But again, I hope you guys have a safe holiday today. Enjoy your day with family and friends. Be safe. I just gonna kind of spin you guys around one more time just to see the sun coming up on the slopes of Mauna Loa. So have a good holiday. Enjoy you guys' day. Be safe. Aloha.